thank you to today's sponsor, Squarespace. Hi guys, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. Today, for the first time in Amanda Rachel Lee history, I'm filming a Plan With Me intro outside. It's kind of weird, there's people staring at me as I'm filming this, but I don't even care because it's so nice outside. If you're confused as to where I am, you probably haven't seen my last update video where I explain that I'm currently living in Vancouver, BC, which is in Canada. I've been here for a while now and it's so nice. As you can see, the weather outside is beautiful, there's just so much nature, and I feel like the new environment has really inspired me and my art, which you guys will see why as we set up the bullet journal. This is a little bit of a spoiler. I feel like it's all very fitting. I started a new notebook recently, I'm in a new city, there's a lot of fresh starts and I'm just excited to get started planning. Unfortunately, I will not be planning outside, like I'm not going to be sitting out here with my bullet journal and writing because that would just be a lot. I have a lot of filming equipment. Although sitting outside and journaling in a park sounds very lovely. I will have to do that on my own while I'm out here. Without further ado, let's get started. If you're planning with me, grab your notebook and your pencil and your stationery. If you're just planning on chilling, hanging out, then grab a snack and a drink. Maybe open up that window so we can feel like we're outside and feel that cool breeze. And let's just get started. As I mentioned, I've been very inspired by my new environment this month. There's a lot of nature in Vancouver. It's a city on the coast, so there's water, mountains, there's a lot of parks, so I've been doing a lot more outdoor activities like biking. In the intro that you saw me filming in, that's in Stanley Park, which is where the lighthouse was, so I got very inspired by that and decided to bring it into my bullet journal. So I'm bringing the coastal vibes of Vancouver into my bullet journal to you guys. So my theme is this lighthouse kind of nautical theme. I've done a few nautical kind of themes before. I've done like a seashell theme and then also a fish theme, but not actual at sea coastal vibes. So I thought this would be perfect for this month and just really suit where I'm at right now. So for the cover page, I drew a lighthouse on a rocky coast, and then I drew a little sailboat on some water, and I made sure to draw some birds flying, just like some seagulls, you know. And on the side of the coast, I drew an anchor kind of sitting in the sand with a rope wrapped around it to make it look like it was just sitting there, or maybe someone was shipwrecked. I really wanted this to look like a scene, like a little peaceful scene. For me, while I've been here, there's so many areas to look out at the coast, and whenever I do look out at the water, it's very relaxing, so I kind of wanted to emulate those vibes as well. I drew a couple seashells around the anchor, and then on the other side, I drew a little message in a bottle that's been washed up to the shore. I wanted to add something to the sky because it looked a little bit empty, so I added these cloudy, foggy shapes. I didn't want to do the typical cloud shapes, because I feel like, to me, when I think of like a lighthouse, the purpose is for it to guide ships through the fog and all of that. So I kind of drew these wavy blob shapes that could be interpreted as clouds or fog. Up to you. I think the addition of the clouds and the birds to this piece really adds some flow to this drawing, because without it, it would look a little bit stagnant, but with the cloudy fog shapes, you can almost like feel the breeze of the coast. Also, the shape of the clouds kind of reminds me of some Japanese style illustrations that I've seen before, so I really like that as well. I think it makes it a bit more unique of a drawing. I really wanted to keep things relatively simple for this cover page and the setup and the drawing style, just because I feel like it gives off more of that serene, peaceful, at sea vibe. So on the cover page, there's a lot of negative space at the top and the bottom. I didn't fill things in right to the edge of the page. And in terms of the coloring style, I just chose 3 colors. The primary colors, actually, I have blue, red, and yellow. And I didn't color in everything. I just kind of added it wherever I chose blue for water, added the red stripes, and then colored in a few accent things like the flags and the seashells. On the other side of the page, I did a quote page, and for this I drew a compass. Also similar to a lighthouse, it helps you find your way, so I thought it would be a nice thing to have next to the lighthouse. But also, of course, it's a very common motif with anything nautical related. I freehanded drawing this. I probably should have used a ruler and something to actually make a perfect circle, because as you can see, it did not end up being a perfect circle, but that's totally okay. Above and below the compass, I drew these curved ribbon shapes, almost like a banner, and throughout the setup, you'll see that I use these curved ribbon banners as a motif throughout the setup. I feel like it's a simple way to spice up a title page, and also it really fits well with the theme. And for the quote, I wrote out, "You'll find your way," which obviously goes well with the compass, but also with the lighthouse. I just wanted a simple and reassuring quote, which I think this is. Just kind of go with the flow, believe in yourself, and eventually you'll find your way. To me, is very reassuring, and I hope it's reassuring to you guys. Finishing off the quote page, I added some washi tapes to the side. These are from the Shop Amanda H. Lee pastel set, which I think the colors perfectly matched this theme. I have like the light blue grid and then the red and white grid set. So I added that, and that's pretty much it for this cover page. Moving on to my monthly calendar spread. This month I went for a larger calendar. The individual boxes I think are 5x5 dot grid spaces, and I just went for a simple basic grid shape, like nothing too crazy with the headers or anything. If anything, I just added a blue highlight on the top of each row to add the numbers, and then above it at the very top I colored in that whole row black so that I could write out the days of the week in white gel pen. Since I had 5 columns on the left page and 2 columns on the right page, I had space on the right side. So in the empty space on the right next to the calendar, I have a box, and that's where I put my monthly focus, or basically any larger overriding monthly tasks that I have for July. I wanted to add something cute above it, so I drew this little ship in a bottle. So I have the waves, and I just drew a tiny little sailboat inside of it, which I thought was really cute. Again, this entire theme is kind of simpler and more minimal, so I didn't go crazy with adding doodles all around it. I just added a few waves at the bottom, and then I used the curved ribbon banner shape above the calendar to write out July. Oh, also, as you can see right here, I'm adding cross-hatching, which is something that I did to a lot of the illustrations. It's a really quick way to make your drawings look a little bit more elevated and add some depth to your drawing so that it's not just a flat black and white ink drawing. So you can see I added those shadow lines to the inside of the banner and the edges of the banner, and I also added it to the bottle as well as the ship. Added a few of those accent color like yellow on the ship's or the sailboat's sail, the actual flag on it, and then I added a couple of the cloud blob shapes around it, and that's pretty much it for this month's calendar page. Next up we have my trackers. I'm starting out with my mood tracker, and as you can see, I learned my lesson from the compass. I actually got something to help me draw a circle this time. So I'm drawing a circle because for the mood tracker I wanted to try something a little bit fun, and I did my tracker inside of a ship steering wheel. Like a pirate ship steering wheel. I don't know if that's what it's actually called. Forgive me if I'm not too familiar with nautical terms, but I drew the wheel, and then inside the circle area is where I've divided it off into 31 sections, and that's where I'll fill in according to my mood. So this is where I'm dividing out those sections. I made sure to calculate it out beforehand so that I had enough space, and then I numbered all of those off. Above it, I just wrote out mood tracker. By the way, for the calligraphy lettering style that I decided to go with this month, it's more of a free-flowing, not necessarily cursive, just something that's very loose and natural. But I'm using my Tombow Fudenosuke hard tip brush pen, of course. All the supplies that I'm using in this video are linked down below as usual. So underneath it, for the where I mark out the moods, the faces, and which colors correspond to what, I did that in the curved ribbon. And then also in the bottom corner, to fill in some of the empty space, I drew out an anchor with a rope kind of curved in, just coming into the corner, I have it on the bottom right and then the top left. I added a few of those splashes of color to the seashells, and that's pretty much it for the mood tracker. Next, we have my habit tracker. Forgive me, my camera kind of cut out in the middle, so I don't have the beginning part of me drawing these boxes, but it's just my usual habit trackers with the mini calendars. I have 9 total 3x3 boxes, and for this I just did basic rectangle grid shape with the primary colors as the highlight above it, which is where I write out the individual habit that I want to track. I don't know what it is about this month's habit tracker. Maybe it's because my lines were extra straight when I was drawing these grids, but for some reason it's very satisfying to look at. But anyway, that might just be me. For the habits that I'm tracking, I have working out, going on walks, taking my vitamins, doing my vocal exercises, all of that. And as you can see, because the mini calendar boxes are squeezed in closer than I normally would, I think because the headers of each are smaller, I had a lot of space above and below, so I wrote out the title underneath it. I wrote habit tracker, and then I have my sailboat on a little sea coastline sailing away at the bottom, and then at the top I drew those foggy, cloudy shapes with the seagulls. Oh, and then I colored in that whole bottom with the blue just to make it stand out and pop a little bit more. Hello, sorry for the interruption, but I did quickly want to talk about today's awesome sponsor, Squarespace. If you guys don't know about Squarespace by now, they are an awesome all-in-one platform that helps you build websites. They are a huge friend to my channel. I've run my website, amandarachlee.com, on Squarespace for years now, and I've never had any issues. They just make it super easy, especially if you don't have too much experience with web design. Personally, I think one of the most important parts of a website is the images and the pictures, especially if you're doing something creative like showcasing your portfolio. So with Squarespace, they make it very easy to upload images. You can directly pull them from your social media platforms and display them on your website like that. And they also have automatic image scaling so that the pictures always look right on your website. You don't have to worry about the dimensions and the placement on the website. It just automatically ensures that it has the best crop for the picture that you upload. And if you are using your website to sell your services or run your business, then the Squarespace Commerce platform that's directly built in is really great. They have customizable e-commerce templates, so you don't need to worry about all of that, whether you're selling your work directly online, in person, or just billing for services. Also, in terms of the actual look of your website, which is how you present yourself to the online world, they have a ton of professional, beautiful templates that you can use. So if you guys have been meaning to start your own website or maybe upgrade your current one and you want to try out Squarespace for yourself, you can head to squarespace.com/AmandaRachlee for a free trial and for 10% off your first purchase of a domain or a website. I will leave that link down below for you. Thank you again to Squarespace. Back to the video. All right, the next spread that I'm doing is one that I did last year during my August setup, and it's my Doodle Planner design tracker dashboard page. Basically, around this time period is when I start figuring things out for the next year's Doodle Planner. I know it seems really early, but because we want to launch in fall, you have to finish it kind of during the summer. So last year, it really helped me to have this page as I was drawing out all of the designs for the Doodle Planner. Basically, I track out each individual month that I've designed and fill that in. Right now you see it's an empty space because I don't want to share all of the information and secrets quite yet, but that's where I put it on that left side. If you watch my update video, then you'll know that part of the reason why I'm in Vancouver as well is to work on the planner for next year. So I've been doing that as well as a lot of other fun projects for shop that are coming up eventually. But it's been really fun. I feel like I'm finally getting into the groove of this Shop Amanda H. Lee stuff. It's like 3 years in, which is kind of crazy. I can't believe we're 3 years in already, but for the first 2 years, it was kind of a learning process and I was just kind of getting my footing. But now I feel like I have the hang of it and I just can't wait to show you guys everything. Back to the spread. On the right side, I put my playlist spread. Again, also a relatively simple layout. I just did the same cloud shapes at the top with the seagulls, and then on the bottom right I actually have a, what is that, life preserver, those like safety rings that you hang on to. And inside I just wrote out these boxes in the primary colors, which is where I wrote out my favorite songs for the month. The songs that I included this month on my playlist are kind of summery and refreshing and bright. So I'll link my full Spotify playlist down below if you're interested in hearing what I've been jamming out to, especially while I've been out here in Vancouver. There have been a couple of road trips and park days, so I definitely have my summer playlist blasting. So I will link that down below if you want to see the full list of songs. Finally, we've made it to my weekly spread, the first weekly spread of July. Technically, because the way the months end for June and July, it's like half June, half July, but there's more days of July in this week than June, so that's why I decided to go with that. I went for this vertical layout. I have 3 columns on one side, 3 on the right side, and I just split weekend up on the horizontally in half. At the top, I colored it in with a black banner, very simple, just wrote out the days of the week. And I used the accent colors, which are the primary colors, in circles above them to write out the numbers of the dates. Above it, I drew one of those curved banner ribbons to write out week 1. And I just wanted to keep things pretty simple in terms of the design for this weekly spread, so I just doodled the anchor with the rope and some seashells, as well as the message in the bottle to kind of connect it back to that cover page. Again, I didn't really fully color any of them in all the way. I just quickly added a few brushstrokes of color on the seashells as well as the little scroll on the inside. And then to finish off the weekly spread, the only other thing that I added were these wavy lines at the bottom for water, as well as some washi tape. Oh, I added washi tape to the other spreads as well because I forgot to include that. Oh, and then I used my blue marker to add a wavy pattern at the bottom of the actual weekly spread boxes, just to add a tiny bit more color and something unique to the weekly spread. Okay, so here's the full flip through of my July 2021 nautical at sea bullet journal setup, inspired by Vancouver / it can be any kind of coastal city, so if you're not in Vancouver, don't worry. But I really love how this setup turned out. I love the simplicity of it as well as the primary colors, so hope you guys enjoyed. I wanted to take my bullet journal on a little bit of a field trip, as well as show you guys a few more shots from Vancouver and Stanley Park, so please enjoy. Alright guys, so that was it for my July 2021 bullet journal setup. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it's a bit of a different vibe. I'm outside and we're here. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of Vancouver. By the way, if you're curious as to what lighthouse this is the Brockton Point Lighthouse, for any of you who, I don't know, plan on visiting Vancouver in the future. If you do visit Vancouver in the future and you come here, then take a picture of your lighthouse themed bullet journal in front of it and send me a picture, because I think that would be super cool. Of course, as usual, I wanted to showcase some of your recreations of my bullet journal from last month. Here they are. They look so beautiful. If you do recreate any of my bullet journal setups, whether it be this month's or previous months, make sure you tag me on Instagram. You can also use our hashtag Lil Doodles. And if you want to see how the rest of my July 2021 bullet journal setup unfolds, we do weekly spread live streams every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I am going to be back on Eastern Time because I'm going to be back in Toronto soon, so sorry about all of the time changes. We do those live on Twitch every Saturday morning. It's a very chill time and I love chatting with you guys and catching up with you guys about how all your weeks have been and how I've been doing. You don't need a Twitch app or account to join. You just need to go to twitch.tv/AmandaHlee. I think that's pretty much it. I still can't believe I'm outside filming in public. Anyway, I hope you guys have an awesome day. Keep doodling and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye everyone!